Hey everybody, welcome to Texas 2.5. Today we're going to be doing some Smashburger seasoning and smashing. I've done a couple of Smashburger videos in the past on how to cook Smashburgers, but I've had some folks begging me to make a video of how I actually portion the patties, smash them out, and season them. So that's all I'm going to be doing in this quick video. If you want to see how I actually cook them and top them and eat them, I'll put the links to a couple of previous videos below and you can check out how to do that. But today, just a real quick hit video on how to smash out the burgers, how big I like them, circumference-wise, how thin I like them, and how I like to season them. First things first, I start off with 2 pounds of fresh, good quality ground beef from my butcher. And yes, high quality ground beef actually is important in this case. I have made tons of burgers, and no offense to Walmart or Aldi or the other cheap wholesalers, but the burger quality is pretty low at those places. And a nice, good quality, fresh grind from your butcher will smash easier. It will not be mushy. A lot of the hamburger from the big stores is mushy and honestly doesn't stay together very well. It's mealy, and it also sticks way worse to whatever my smashing device is. So for those reasons, I like to use a nice big heavy grind. If you want to be real graphic about it, it sort of looks like brains. That's a good grind size, a nice big, heavy, thick grind size. First thing I do when I get home is unwrap that. And I know that based on the size of burgers I like to make, 2 pounds is going to make us about 11 or 12 burgers usually if I portion these correctly. So the first thing I do is I take some wax paper and I cut myself out 12 squares so that I can separate these burgers and keep them from sticking together after I season them and pat them out. In case I forget to say this later, a big, heavy-duty spatula is really nice for smash burgers. This is some pretty thick steel. It doesn't have any flex in it whatsoever. It's very stiff, and it also has a nice beveled edge. It's not sharp like a razor blade or a knife, but it is pretty thin, and it allows for getting up underneath this smash burger on the grill very easily and flipping them over, and you're only going to do that once. If you remember, if you watch the cooking smash burger videos, these are only down for about 60 seconds per side or 90 at the most if you have your grilling surface in the 500 to 600 degree range like you ought to. Next thing I do is put on some gloves and just start portioning this out. So what I like to do is just eyeball it and split it in half. And I know that from each half I'm going to get about 5, maybe 6 burgers. Sometimes I don't quite portion them exactly, and so they turn out, I get a few more, a few less, but 10 to 12 patties is about what we try to get out of smash burgers because, and here's about the size, it's just about the size of a big meatball in spaghetti. Because I like my smash burgers very thin, but I like them big around. I like them as big as my bun or a little bigger because they're going to shrink dramatically on the grill. To compare, if you go to Five Guys, I guess let me let you look at me since I'm going to discourse here. If you go to Five Guys, their patties are probably close to twice the size of mine because they're putting out a thicker smash burger. It's still a good 5 inches around or so, finished diameter, but theirs is, a good ½ inch thick, whereas I like mine really thin. Right in the 3-ounce range is about perfect. Five Guys, I'm guessing, is doing something like 5 to 6 ounce patties. The reason that I like to do it thinner, even though, don't get me wrong, I'll take a Five Guys burger any day. I love them. They're delicious. The reason I like to do mine on the thin side is because for the same amount of meat and calories, I get twice the seasoning and twice the crust, twice the flavor, twice the crunch, twice the texture. So when I'm cooking them at home, I prefer to go as thin as possible. They also cook super fast that way. So even if I'm stacking 2 patties on a burger, I'm still only eating 5 to 6 ounces of burger. Now occasionally I'll do a triple and eat 8 or 9 ounce burger, whatever. But most of the time I'm just doing 2 patties. And if I'm going to do 2 patties, I want to do them thin because we eat pretty good around here, and I don't need to weigh 400 pounds. So I go with thinner patties so that even though I'm eating 2 patties, I'm still only consuming 5 or 6 ounces of fatty beef at a meal for a burger, because usually I have a whole lot of other high calorie stuff on there as well, like barbecue sauce, fried onions, bacon, double cheese, yada, yada, yada. So I go thin on my patties for taste, seasoning, crust, texture, all of that. And that's just my preference. All right, so here's our first one. What I've been using lately, this is the same pot that I use to brew my sweet tea in. The thing I like about it is the bottom, the flat area is bigger than my patty's going to be. If you use a bowl or something that's too small and you have to like smash part of the burger and then move it and smash the other part. I used to smash with this, but my burgers are wider than this flat thing, so I had to, smash it in the middle and then scrape the burger off the bottom and try to smash it again a few times, and it's just a pain. So get a device that's bigger than the patty is going to end up. Take your wax paper, and this is just for ease. You could do it straight onto the bottom of there, but I like to keep my teapot a little clean, and I like to make it easy on myself in a minute, so that's why I use the wax paper. And I just use my fist. And because this is round and because it's bigger than your patty, you don't have to take 2 swipes or 3 swipes at getting this right. You smash it out nice and big like that. And this is a beautiful, beautiful Smashburger patty. And I forgot, I normally put a piece of wax down on the bottom so that I don't lose a chunk like that. But this is a perfect, probably 5-inch round. And that's going to shrink down to probably about 4 inches by the time it's all said and done. But if you look at the thinness, we're talking a max of 1/4 inch on that bad boy. I'm not going to, I'll show you one more. I'm not going to obviously do all 12 of these on video, but I just want to show you, again, I'm just grabbing off an estimated piece, maybe a little more there, get some of these giblets. Again, about the size of a good big spaghetti meatball. 2 pieces of wax paper, and just press straight down and hold it for a second. And now, whichever piece of wax paper comes off the easiest, I use the other one to stack on top of the burger stack that I have going, so that they're all separated by wax paper, and then I use this as my next bottom wax. I'm just going to do that 9 or 10 more times, and I'll show you how we season them. Alright, I'm about halfway through, and I wanted to add one more thing about good quality hamburger. There's almost no handling of this burger. All I'm doing, you don't want to handle your burger a lot. You don't want it to get warmed up before you grill it. You want this to go on the grill as cold as possible, which is why I said in an earlier video, and I will repeat here, once I season them, I put them in the freezer for 20 minutes or so while I get the grill hot to get them nice and cold. I want this meat to be as cold as possible because the warmer it is, the more potential you have for fat loss and flavor loss when that meat starts warming up. I don't want it warm at all. I want it as cold as possible the whole time I'm handling it, and I want it to go on the grill cold so that it is not already in the mood to lose fat and flavor before it ever even hits the grill. I want it cold. But as you can see, all I'm doing is grabbing it and making a very gentle ball. I didn't squeeze that at all. I just basically formed it into a ball, and this pot and this wax paper do the rest. There's no need to overhandle this burger whatsoever. All I do is pinch off a piece, lightly form it into a ball, and then smash it out. All right, I ended up with 11 more or less evenly sized, beautiful, bright red, thin patties that are going to be crispy and delicious. I pretty much do the same seasoning every time. I always use an SPG base layer. I either use Cosmo's Texas beef, or right now I have Killer Hog's AP rub. So I will season all of these with AP. I can do that pretty quickly here for you. And I'm pretty generous with it. But I do not worry too much about, being too precise. I just realized, though, that I have a hamburger hiding under here. Need to season him up, too. And before I flip them and season the other side, I'm going to go ahead and put my second layer and my final layer, which right now I'm using Cosmo's cow cover. I do get a little more varied with my second layer, but Cosmo's cow cover is one of my favorites, and it's currently the one that I have in the cabinet. Although I do use a lot of John Henry's as well. As you've seen, Montreal steak is a good second layer. Any good beef rub. So we got these all seasoned up. I'm just going to flip them. And actually, you know what? I forgot. I don't flip them because it's too much of a pain with the wax paper on there. I want to leave them just like this. So what I have started doing, instead of flipping them and seasoning the other side, is actually lately I've just been making sure that I hit the one side heavy enough with seasoning, and you'll have to play with that. But I just hit it hard on one side and season it up, and I'm fine with that. I don't season the other side. These guys are super thin, and also you're going to be stacking them for the most part if you're doing a double burger like I do. So there's no need to worry about seasoning the opposite side. I've been doing just one side for the last few times now, and it works out fine. So I'm going to hit these actually with just a touch more of the AP and throw them in the freezer. All right, so that about concludes our video. Two things I want to say. If you do this enough, you'll get really good at estimating the size of the meatball you need to put out the perfect size patty that you and your family prefer. If you like the thicker, Five Guys thickness patties, hey, go for it. Just use a bigger meatball than I'm using, and maybe use your 10-inch frying pan to smash them out instead of your little teapot like I've been doing. But you'll get really good at eyeballing it. Second thing is, I've done everything here on the paper that the butcher sent me home with. This is really simple, really easy. There's no need to make a big mess in your kitchen, and or to dirty dishes unnecessarily. So I have this whole stack of burgers. I'm just going to set this in the freezer for a few minutes. No need to dirty a cookie sheet or another pan or anything like that. If you need to, you can throw a piece of tape on here to keep it from opening up in the freezer, but I'm not too worried about it. Going to go out and grill these up and eat them. And again, if you want to see how all that is done, I've done that multiple times already, so there's no need to belabor the point on this video. My preferred style, as you'll see in past and future burger videos, is Western burger. I love the burgers, like I said, with onion straws. I just use the French fried onions, or the off-brand from Walmart, with some barbecue sauce. And always, 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 I prefer the white American cheese, especially the kind, if you can find the white American cheese that is half Swiss, or has Swiss mixed in with the American. I think you can find that at some Walmart and Sam's Clubs. Google it, white American Swiss cheese. A lot of white American cheese out there has Swiss in it. You just have to look for it. I love that stuff. American melts the best. And don't get me wrong, I love all the cheeses. But, well, that's not true. I love most cheeses that I've tried. But, experiment with what you like. We like American. Tonight I'm going to throw on some of that smoked cheddar, the smoked white cheddar that I smoked last weekend. I've actually done smoked cheese the last 2 weekends, and I posted a video of that recently too. Check that out. But tonight I'm going to do smoked white cheddar on one of my patties and American on the other, so you get that nice combo of melty white American Swiss-y flavor with some also outstanding, standout, grip you by the throat, nice smoked white cheddar that I did on the LSG last weekend. So it'll be a good combo. We need to wrap it up though. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something. Hey, go do a Smashburger. You'll love it. And they're simple and easy. Even the cleanup is easy if you think through what you're doing and just use what's been given to you at the butcher shop. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. That's the sort of fumbling, bumbling conclusion you get when you don't think about what you're going to say ahead of time. Hey, I've been a preacher and I'm in seminary right now, and seminarians and preachers do the same thing. You can tell when a guy hasn't thought through the conclusion to his sermon because he's fumbling and bumbling for the last 5 minutes. That's what you just saw me do in the video. Don't do that.